has come. My favorite day of the week is Wednesday. I get to meet incredible women that inspire us to keep chasing dreams, living our best lives, and just doing the most, right? We find trailblazers from all over KZN. And remember, if you want to add your name to the list, right, why not? We are looking for entries for Women Crush Wednesday. For women, we can sit down, get to know whether you run an amazing business or you're a great community leader or are just doing something impactful in life. Go to carolofori.com and fill out the form there under Women Crush Wednesday, and I look forward to meet you. Well, here is a lady who's doing something amazing. Her name is Kayla Beechy. She works with people navigating anxiety, burnout, grief, self-worth struggles, and more. She's a specialist holistic wellness counselor, and she runs a counseling practice called, I love it, so South African. Otherwise, you well? I love. A name inspired by love, as well as a powerful reminder to check in with ourselves and with one another. Welcome, Kayla. How are you?
Thank you, Carol. Thank you for having me on the show, and thank you so much for this amazing opportunity.
Oh, this is amazing. If I can ask you to get a little bit closer to the mic so we can hear you nice and clear. So I love the name of your counseling practice. Otherwise, you well?
Yes, 100%. Definitely a very, very KZN thing to say. And it's also a powerful reminder for us just to take a moment to pause. I think a lot of the time we ask questions, how are you? And the usual response is, I'm fine. But when you actually ask that, it's a moment to pause. And the semicolon is actually the symbol for mental health and suicide prevention. So it's a moment to pause, not stop.
Right. Pause and not stop. Now, I'm curious, how did you find yourself in this world of holistic wellness?
So I've always been very passionate about helping people, and I've always been incredibly curious about how our brains work.
Yeah.
And so I went to study psychology. I got my honors in counseling psychology. And then I decided I wanted to go a little bit more into the holistic side. So looking at not just treating or diagnosing someone, but looking at the active steps that you can take, whether it be mind, body, or spirit, and making sure that all three of those cups are full so that they're overflowing and you can give to others.
Wow, that is amazing. So if you had to explain holistic wellness, this is what it is. Looking at those three cups and overflowing them. What would you say are like practical steps for one to firstly realize, otherwise I'm actually not well?
So I think with the day and age we're in right now, there's a lot of pressures, there's a lot of comparisons, and it's sometimes hard to stand up and say, you know, I'm not doing okay. And it's actually okay to not be okay. I think the emotions that we feel on a day-to-day basis, in my opinion, there's no positive or negative emotion. It's all part of the human experience. And it's important for us to stand up and feel those things. And the biggest, bravest step is saying, I'm not okay, and taking that step to reach out to somebody, which takes a lot of courage.
Yeah, we live in a world now that, I don't know, is this weird, I don't know how I can explain it, but we have mental health as a buzzword now. Everybody's talking mental health, and you're assuming everybody's really starting to accept and come out of the shell and, you know, lean into what it means. But on the other side, it also still has the stigma of like mental health, this one, stay far away. He or she is not right. So there's this weird medium that we need to sort of navigate where people don't see it, that when you say I'm taking care of my mental health, I'm not crazy.
Oh, yes, 100%.
I'm just looking out for me. How do we navigate that? Because I think people are still scared to say I'm not okay because they don't want to be perceived as crazy.
Yeah, there's a huge stigma around mental health. And I think, you know, if just in chatting, and I think the biggest thing is the awareness around it. So realizing and acknowledging, taking that moment to say, I'm not okay, and opening up to someone. And it doesn't need to be huge steps. A lot of the time in my work, it's a lot of perfectionist driven thought processes where we have to take big steps and it needs to be this big thing, but smaller steps, bringing it down to actionable tasks that you can do by chatting to a friend. It doesn't need to be a therapist at first. Chatting to somebody who you feel safe with, because a lot of the time I think people are dealing with all of these things within their own minds and are too afraid to stand up and say, I'm really struggling with all these things that are going on in my mind because of all the comparison and because everybody's trying to keep up with appearances. But it really is, everybody that you speak to now, somebody's either dealing with anxiety or depression, or they're struggling with burnout at work. I mean, we in this rat race, we live busy lives where we don't have time just to take a moment and to check in with ourselves. And I think that's the most important.
Now, Kayla, we were chatting off air about like a checklist or a starter pack or signs of you are actually not coping.
Oh, yes, there definitely is various things, but I think telltale signs are usually things like extreme irritability for small, things that may trigger us, things like wanting to sleep all the time, constant fatigue, things like, emotional numbness. So, take a moment and really stop and check in with your emotions. I think identifying emotions is one of the key things to emotional well-being, because often we just sort of suppress and we push it away. So it's important to check with that, whether it be anxiety, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness. It's important to identify that and to check in with that and feel that emotion without judgment or criticism. And that's the biggest thing.
100%. I love what you said earlier in that it doesn't mean when you want to check in and get help that you have to go straight to a counselor. It could be starting off with speaking to a friend. It's the speaking part and not isolating yourself, correct?
Yes, 100%. One of my favorite quotes by Brené Brown is, vulnerability is the biggest form of courage. And it really is that. That is the biggest thing. I think that, like I said, in our society now, it's always this perception that we have to keep everything together and we need to, be perceived as we've got it all together. But sometimes just taking that moment to step up and say, I'm not okay. Would you mind listening to me, or would you mind chatting to me, is the biggest thing.
Right. And I know with girls, we can get together. My husband always says to me, I don't understand women. You guys can meet for coffee, not know each other. And by the time you leave, Shelly's got 5 kids. Her husband snores at night. She's going to work tomorrow morning and all of that. He's like, I can go out with boys that I've known for my whole life and not even know that his wife snores at night. She has a shopping addiction. Gents just don't operate that way.
Oh, no.
And in a time like today where the pressures are on, there's so much pressure on our men. I'm getting goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
There is so much pressure on them. If they don't have to fix the GBV problem, they have to bring home the bacon. If they don't have to bring home the bacon, they have to do this, they have to do this. And they just literally close up. They don't share with their friends. They don't share with anybody. Their wives will beg them, talk to me. Their girlfriends, they will not. How do we get our men to just speak to someone?
Well, I think, this is the most important thing. I think, speaking up about this and the more education we have around it, maybe you're not at a stage where you're ready to speak up, but awareness is the biggest thing. So if you're really struggling as a male, take some time to educate yourself, do some read up about it. But, at the end of the day, we are all human beings and we are all hardwired for connection. When we don't have connection, we feel isolated and lost. And healing can't take place. So whether you're a male or a female, it's important to connect and it's important to identify those emotions because they're sitting inside of you and the body starts keeping score.
It does. And the body starts keeping score. That gave me chills. Now, a lot of people are listening. They want to come and chat to you. You're a counselor. You're a safe space. How do we get in touch with you? Do you do online? Where do we find you?
Okay, so my practice is mainly online, my Otherwise You Well. So you can reach me through my Instagram platform, DM me or pop me a message. That is Otherwise_You Well. Or if you are in the Ballito area, I work at a wellness hub, which is an amazing place because we offer integrative therapy. So we do ice baths and saunas, which are great for the nervous system as well. So come through, pop in the ice bath. I'll help you with some breath work and we can chat about your emotional well-being.
I love that. And I always say to people, for me personally, having gone through counseling to get through my own battles that I have in life, I've seen the value of it. And I always say that counseling may seem like something far away, something you're not interested in. But it's funny how when we cough, we go to the doctor and we get help with that. When we are struggling with whatever it is, we will go and look for the help. If we need to further our education, we will go and study. If we want to have good marriages, we go for marriage counseling.
Oh, yes.
But why is it that we can't look after the most important element that drives us every day, which is our mind, and having a space to nurture it, love it, give it peace, give it strength, give it revigoration, and all it needs. And sometimes the best place to do this is in a safe space, like people like yourselves, Kayla, who give us the tools from a knowledgeable point to look after our minds.
100%.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing as well there is to, when you ask yourself that question, don't ask yourself in a criticizing way by saying, what is wrong with me?
There we go.
Rather, what do I need?
Yes. What do I need? Parting shot, give us advice. We need it. It looks like you just have all the pearls and I want to clutch them all. Give it to us,
Could talk
Kayla.
all day.
Yes. Give us your last words on encouragement for everyone.
So
listening.
I would say that, in this human experience, everybody is feeling these emotions. Everybody is carrying these things. And when you're carrying them, it becomes heavy. So take a moment, check in with yourself, pause, spend 5 seconds. It doesn't need to be huge, big steps. 5 seconds to check in with yourself, ask yourself what you really need, and then take that small step. Small steps are progress, and progress is what we want.
That's it. Otherwise, you well on Instagram. Kayla Beechy, thank you so much for everything. We've put up a blog. You can read up all about Kayla. We're going to be tagging in pictures and the video is going to go up. Thank you again. I think this was such an important conversation to start the year.
Thank you for having me.
Yay. That's Kayla Beechy, everybody. You can find her. Otherwise, you well on Insta. This year, we are opening the floor to all of you. Yes, ladies, if you have someone you want to nominate, a phenomenal woman, maybe she is your domestic worker. She's got 10 kids she's looking after. She shows up for your family and for this family, and you think she's unbelievable, go and let us know about her. Maybe she's an entrepreneur. She started a business with literally 10 rand and now she employs 10 people and the business is thriving. We want to hear about all these beautiful stories, trailblazers in different spaces across the spectrum. We're looking for you, ladies, and KZN based. Perfect. Go to carolofori.com and fill out the Woman Crush Wednesday form.